와 무시하다'의 차이점. Alright, so let's just do this quickly. You see the explanation there. There's one thing that you have to remember is that ignore and 무시하다 are not the same. Okay? It's just like, for example, 네 and yes are also not the same. Okay? I think I've explained this before, but when you ask somebody to do something for you in Korean, then a lot of times people answer yes. But in English, you just say, I understand or I see, right? It depends on what the situation is, but there's also a difference between 네 and yes. I'm going to write a post about that later. But in this case, ignore and 무시하다 are not the same. 무시하다 can sometimes mean 상대방을 무시할 때, right? 인정 안 해줄 때. That's 무시하다. But in English, that's not ignore. Okay? Ignore just means 정말 못 들은 척 할 때. 그거는 ignore입니다. So for example, let's say somebody came to the door and knocked. 근데 난 귀찮아서 그냥 안 갔어요. Okay? I didn't go see who it was. I just kept watching TV. Then you can say I ignored the door. Okay? Somebody came to the door, I just ignored them. 그거는 ignore. Okay, but let's say that my friend keeps telling me 나도 한국어 정말 잘해요. 번역 같이 하고 싶어요. And I say, no, I don't think so. I say 한 5년, 10년 뒤에 다시 보자, right? 좀 공부 좀 열심히 해. 좀 제대로 해봐. And then he could say, 나를 그렇게 무시하지 말아줘, right? But in English, you can't say don't ignore me. 그럴 때는 적합하지 않은 표현입니다. You wouldn't say don't ignore me in that case. You would say don't belittle me or don't look down on me. Okay?
Down on me? Down to me?
Down on me. Don't look down on me. Don't belittle me. 근데 그런 경우에 ignore 쓰면 정말 어색해. Okay, ignore is like, for example, okay, 나 지금 강의하는 중이잖아요. 근데 문자 들어왔어요. 근데 그냥 무시했어요. 그런 동작은 ignore이라고 해도 돼요. So for example, a message came in earlier, but I didn't answer it. I just ignored it. That's ignore. Okay? So for example, somebody called me, but I ignored the phone. I ignored it. Okay, that's ignoring. Okay? So that's different, right? Okay. So one of my friends said to me, 이렇게 말했어요. 친구가, 한국인 친구. 가끔 일본 사람들이 한국 문화를 무시하는 것 같다. 그러면 그럴 경우에 또 ignore 쓰면 안 돼요. It seems like Japanese people ignore Korean culture. That doesn't make any sense, right? Korean culture didn't come and knock on the door and they ignored it, right? That doesn't work. You can only ignore somebody if somebody says 저기요, 저기, and then I say what? And I just ignore. I just keep walking. That's ignoring. Okay, that's different. So let's say I go to a restaurant and I want to order some 공기밥, right? Where I 삼겹살집, and I want 공기밥. So I said, 아줌마, 여기요. And then she just ignores me. That's ignoring, right? It's different. Okay. All right. So also condescending. Okay, when you look down on somebody else, we say that's condescending. So 그런 말투도 있잖아요. So for example, a lot of Korean people, they know that I translated for a newspaper, and they know a little bit about my resume, but still when they meet me, they'll show me something written in Hangul, and they say, 한글도 읽을 줄 아세요? And I'm like, how could I be a translator if I didn't, read Hangul? So that's a little bit condescending, right? So sometimes compliments can be condescending too, right? It just means when you're looking down a little bit on the person you're saying it to, right? Sometimes it can be condescending. All right, so for example, you can say, don't use that condescending tone of voice. 그 말투 쓰지 마세요, right? Don't use that condescending tone of voice. Don't underestimate me. 근데 don't ignore me이라고 하면 안 돼요. All right, let's move on to the next one. So corruption trial, 비리 재판, and overlook, 간과하다, belittle, 과소평가하다, 비하하다, And discount. 오케이, 물론 discount 할인이라는 의미도 되는데 상대방을 깎아내리는 거, 과소평가하는 거, 그것도 discount이라고 할 수 있어요. For example, don't discount my contributions to this class. Don't discount what I've done for you. Okay? Okay, that'll do it for that one. Let's move on to 한국 사람들이 잘 안 쓰는 외에 또 다른 용법. Alright, so when we use way, I never heard a Korean person use this way. That's why I wanted to teach you. Okay, so remember last time when we talk about a person, we use way sometimes to mean 그렇게, right? 저렇게. 그 사람이 영어 그렇게 원어민 만큼 잘 한다는 것에 대해서 난 좀 질투나, 난 부러워하고 있어요, right? Then you would say, I'm jealous of the way. Right, the way he speaks English so well, or I'm jealous of the way he plays basketball. I'm jealous of the way he sings so well. 그럴 경우에도 the way 많이 써요. When we talk about a person's 특징, right, 강점에 대해서 얘기할 때 많이 써요. Okay, I'm jealous of the way he's so smart. 많이 써요. 근데 여기 나오는 way는 달라요. 또 달라요. Okay, this way is like 강조할 때 많이 쓰는 말투입니다. But one thing I want to say is this is informal. Okay, never write this in an essay or anything. Like Korea is way better than Australia or something. We don't say way better. In that case, in a formal situation, what could you use?
Much.
Yeah, you would say much. A lot 말할 때 쓰는 거예요. Yeah, I wouldn't write an essay and use a lot. That's really informal too. You could say immensely, tremendously, leaps and bounds ahead of, yeah, far beyond. There's a lot of ways to say it in a formal context, right? But let's look at the example sentences here. I was realizing when I was talking to some foreign friends, we use way a lot, okay? So, okay, can you read the first sentence? Yeah, Mark.
Mark is much older than me.
Yeah, and then can you read the next one? Next. Mark is
Mark is a lot older than you.
right. So that's normal. And then for 반말 or 편하게 말할 수 있을 때, Mark is way older than you. Okay. You can also use this. So 부사형으로도 많이 써요. So for example, he's way better at English than you are, right? 훨씬 잘해요. 훨씬이랑 비슷하다고 생각하시면 돼요. Okay? He's way skinnier than she is. He's way taller than he is. Okay? He's way more. So for example, also, if you got some test scores back, you could say, I did way better than you on the test, right? So you would say, I did way better than, and then here you could say 지난번 시험보다 이번에 훨씬 잘 봤어요.
Before?
Yeah, I did way better than before. I did way better than last time. Okay, I did way better than him. Or you could also say he did. These are your two options. I did way better than he did. I did way better than him. Okay? So, 훨씬. Alright. Can you read the 예문, the first one?
I've been living in Korea since way before you got here.
Right. And 그 말이 나온 김에, you see, you got here. 우리 you came here 많이 안 써요. Okay? 왔다 말하면은 언제 왔어? We don't say when did you come here. Okay? 문법적으로 들리지 않았지만 그렇게 말 안 해요, 보통. When did you come here 보다 when did you get here 훨씬 많이 써요. Okay? When did you get here? When did you get to Korea? How long have you been in Korea? 그런 것 다 좀 흔히 쓰는데 when did you come to Korea 많이 안 써요. It's not wrong. It's just we don't use it that much. Get here 제일 많이 쓰는 것 같아요. Okay, order의 과거형으로 get here 제일 많이 쓰는 것 같아요. So when did you get here? I got here 15 minutes ago. Like that. Okay, I got to Korea 30 minutes ago. 그런 식으로. Okay, so let's look at the next one. I've been living in Korea since way before you got here. Alright, can you read the next one, James?
James is way better at skiing than you will ever be.
Right, James is way better at skiing than you will ever be. Alright, so do you remember, what do you think will ever be means? Dan, do you remember? Will ever be? So he's better at English than you will ever be. 정말 잔인한 말이지만, what does it mean?
네가 할 수 있는
Right, yeah, it's kind of like that, right? 죽다 뭐 깨어나도 like that, like no matter what you do, 나머지 평생 동안 계속 공부한다고 해도 그에만큼 잘하지 못할 거예요, right? It's really not very nice, but you could say he'll always be better than you, okay? So you can say he's way better than you will ever be, like that. All right, can you read the next one? My dream.
My dream is to make way more money than my dad does.
Right. So 우리 아버지 보는 돈보다 훨씬 잘 보려고 해요. 그거는 내 꿈입니다. Right? All right. So way more. I want to make way more money than even the richest people in our state or whatever. All right. Let's do life in Korea. Why don't you do that one, life?
Life in Korea is way more fun than in America.
Right. So life in Korea is way more fun. You can also say today is way more fun than last time. Hongdae is way better than Sinchon. Say it like that. Okay. Hongdae is much more fun. It's way more fun than Sinchon. All right. And last, my sister is way better at science than I am. Okay. She's way better. All right. Any questions about this?
I have questions.
Mm-hmm.
Not about this one.
Okay, that's fine. All right, go ahead.
What's